Okay, here we go. Another Age of Mythology Retold casted game. Today, a bit of ranked ladder. It's Husk Soup, one of the players coming up in the next S tier tournament, the Champions League, hosted by Boit. He is in the blue playing as Kronos. I think he's been a bit of a Kronos main in the past, and he plays a pretty mean Kronos. So we're going to see how that one goes. And on the bottom side, in the red, his name is Hail to the Star. Now, this guy, I've seen, he's definitely creeping up in the rankings. I think it was about 1,800 and something. So, extremely strong player, playing as the Poseidon. And it is going to show up the map. It is Elysium, one of my favorite maps. I really don't know why, but because it shows where all the gold mines are, it just feels a bit easier when you're scouting. So if you're scouting, if we watch one of the scouts, probably from the red side, it's probably a bit easier. But if you literally just see the edge of one of these water thingies, then you just know that the gold is very, very close. It's just easy to spot wherever they are. The gold mines are often pretty forward. As you can see here, this is exactly where the gold's going to be because it's got a little bit of the shallows. So we're going to see how that one will impact things. Both these gods, to be honest, are extremely aggressive. Kronos can be played very aggro, so can Poseidon. Both can go for very fast advance times if they want to, but also both have a pretty strong late game. With Kronos can time shift things about, can also get a pretty good eco side. Oh, it's a Sem. Okay, so Hail to the Star is a Sem. So very, very strong player. I apologize if you hear barking. Loki, my dog, is going crazy at the door. But moving on to this one. This is so. This hunt even spawns right next to the gold mine, which is pretty nice. It's also loads of food available for this one. So quite often, very defensive plays don't really work out on this map specifically. But sometimes you get a back gold mine, or sometimes you get back food. So actually this one has got back gazelles and back berry bush. So one wall off here is going to be very, very strong. Yeah, my dog's name is Loki. It's fine. My partner likes Marvel movies, so she was fine with it. But obviously, it's named after the Age of Mythology god. And looks like here, Hail to the Star or SM here. Looks like he wanted to advance, but then decided actually I want one more villager. So going for that slightly later advance. I'm not crazy fast. If we move over to the Oracle side, so not transferring a temple over just yet, so not going for that extremely aggressive approach. Quite often you just want to time shift the temple just to get your free myth units in a slightly better spot. So we'll see if that is something that Soup decides to go for, or it's just going to sit back, have something to defend at home. Atalanta, if she catches out those Prometheans or the automaton robots, whatever you decide to go for, can be pretty devastating. So against Poseidon, it's probably best to actually leave it at home, to be honest. And Leto is going to be the god. So yeah, getting those robots, you want to leave them back at home. Look at some of the relics if they're going to impact anything. So heroes regenerate hit points over time. So that could be nice for either side, to be honest. Arrows of Heracles is extra damage for ranged soldiers. So we like that one. Heroes do more damage as they lose hit points. So a couple of hero relics here. Looks like the Oracle from Soup does want that one. And it looks like one relic I'm either missing or must have been grabbed. Looks like Theseus is carrying something. Tusk of the Iron Boar is the best Poseidon relic there is, because Poseidon likes cavalry, and 10% cavalry hit points is impressive. It's going to make a big difference. So the stable's coming up, and I expect to see a heavy cavalry play out of the Poseidon. It's basically like getting another half a line upgrade, basically. So I think medium cavalry gives you 10% HP and damage. So you're basically getting that HP on top of that again. And something like the cavalry just have such high base hit points anyway that it ends up being very, very strong. I think those relics for Atalanta as well, if she can manage to pick those up, will be troublesome for Soup, just to say the least. So Soup setting up pretty defensively, getting his spider eggs down nice and early. You get 2 of these for free, and then they start to cost 3 favor per go. So 3 favor, then 6 favor, then 9. So you can get some really good value from it. It kills 3 normal units, insta-kills them. No myth units, no heroes, but a normal unit. So let's say just a Hippias taking one of those down, or 3 of those for 3 favor, is going to be worth it every day of the week. It looks like some automaton mass is coming out, or at least one of them has been built. Is he going for the upgrades for them? Let's move over to Soup's perspective. Looks like he hasn't grabbed any upgrades just yet. Just chilling back. I think it's a good strategy to go for if you're going for, or good idea to, if you're going for the automaton strategy, is to sit these back until you have a decent mass, because then they can rebuild each other. That'd be very, very nice. The catapulties are also already out, which is the best counter to Hippias that Soup has in his arsenal right there. 4 times damage extra to the cavalry. And yeah, more automaton coming out. Already Spirited Charge on the way for SM, or Hail. We're going to call him Hail to the Star just in case he isn't SM. But I think this early grab is to deal with the kind of counter units. So the catapulties here is 4.5 speed, and then his Hippias is going to go up to 6 point something. So they'll be very, very hard to actually catch those ones, even if snared up. Looks like Soup does notice that one. And also going to pull off on these gazelles. Could get the wall up, as we said, but Hail to the Star actually went the other way anyway. And unfortunately, for Soup, an Oracle is going to get spotted right in the corner. Soup building 2 extra Oracles out, 1 does go down. But so definitely wants to get those automaton numbers up. And Soup is going to scare these guys out. Trying to go for a quick wall. Mana coming up. But Hail to the Star is on it. Also gets the nice time shift of the counter barracks. And I think a lot of these are actually going to go down. Almost called it the temple time shift, just because we always see the temples go. But the counter barracks, quick wall with the counter barracks. So it does snipe 1 Hippias. To be honest, a bit sad to not see more value from a pretty sick play. But still, does get one of those Hippias off the table. Got a Hero Terma here. Hero Terma, that sole job will be dealing with those centaurs for sure. There's not much else you can really do. From Hail to the Stars side, Lord of Horses, very kind of one-dimensional play when you find that relic as Poseidon. You just want to go for cavalry, and you want to go for them now. But actually, saying that, Hail to the Star says, you got a slow army, and you kind of need to sit back and react to my raid, so I'm just going to build a minimal amount of units and kind of distract with them, and then get a town center up, which I really do like that play. Also going for the 4 town center, does manage to get a mana time shift again. Going to lose all 4 of those Hippias basically for free. Super's on it with these time shifts, and this is something that really only Kronos can do. Maybe it's the inner Norse player, because I guess Norse can also do it if they have their builders out in their army. They can just quickly cut off something. And actually, the mana time shifts so fast that it's better than building. It goes up so quick that those 4 Hippias had no chance to actually take those out. So, huge value from Soup coming out now, but he is up against a second town center. So, he needs a plan to deal with this. One option could be grab your own second town center, and that's exactly what Soup's going for here. It's got the value early, so going for this slightly later second town center is no problem at all. Looks like Hail to the Star spots it pretty much instantly. Pegasus coming over just to see if he has been matched. And Soup hasn't actually seen that the Poseidon's gone for it, but he probably knows just from the kind of minimal pressure that he's been under. Only just a few cavalry. It's like the cavalry are going to try and snipe those citizens, but the automatons plus catapulty combo already there waiting, so not a problem from that respect. Atalanta is going to be so annoying here. The Terma, even though there's 4 of them, they just don't do enough damage. It looks like 6.1 looks like a lot, but they fire so slow that Atalanta wins that fight. So you've definitely got to be careful. Centaur numbers also creeping up, which is why the Hero Terma are here. You need to be behind the Centaur to actually hit it, though. And until you get ballistics, then it's a little bit easier. But does manage to get behind it and snipe that one Centaur. So Soup in a pretty commanding spot, to be honest, getting these small value wins, taking out a lot more units. Maybe his town center was a fraction later, maybe 1 minute later, which is not a problem, really. Nice aggressive walls from Hail to the Star here, knowing that gold is often an issue with this map. So securing a forward town center for the map pressure and then going for wooden walls just to secure this one. Could also go even for some really aggressive walls here if he gets an army behind him to actually let that one happen. Especially as Soup wants to get onto this one. Does have the mana time shifting over. So in 7 seconds, this citizen will be able to garrison. Unfortunately, didn't go for Prometheus, so doesn't have the Valor to actually get that one back up, but should be enough to get inside the Mana. So nice play from both players there, but Soup does manage to keep his villager alive. And now the Catapulties are going to waddle over with their sticks and scare away those horses. So I think that's the kind of the early game got through from both players. And Hail to the Star says time to move on to the next portion, which is Aphrodite. So not going for those super cavalry. If you want to go for the super cav, then you need to go through Dionysus, get the extra upgrade there, Thracian horses, which gives them lifesteal. So not deciding to go through that angle, going for the kind of more myth unit based side, or even just insta value. Whenever you go for an early or semi-fast kind of third age through Aphrodite, then you can get a good curse off while the units are still unupgraded or only medium, not to heavy yet, which means your curse, which turns things into pigs, will do a little bit more damage. So the Hippias just are having a little look around. I think that hero do more damage relic has been left. Maybe not the biggest value. Oracle is safe here. Does have the mana. Really nice play here from Soup. Has the mana here, and both oracles are getting maximum favor, and then they can both run to the same mana to help them out. So Soup here playing a pretty textbook Kronos, but Hail to the Star does go for a bit of an aggressive play onto the gold mine, because Soup is kind of spread out on 2 gold mines, which is a little bit rough. So the hero Catapulti will trade with the Centaur. No, doesn't get their final blow off, so the Centaur does manage to survive on that side. But Nemean Lion potentially going down here. 1 hero Terma, and the rest normal units. Is going to struggle a little bit, but there is a little wall here. Little wall that you can put a gate in there. Temple, time shifted over, I imagine. No, second temple out. So definitely wanted to go for some kind of play in that regard. Curse does pick off a decent amount of units there. What did he get? Got a decent amount of pigs. Unfortunately, we can't seem to click on them. Nemean Lions tanking for days, waiting for Hail to the Stars units to get back. Hippaspis in to deal with those Catapultis. Huge stun, but unfortunately the Hippaspis are on the wrong units. They're going after the Terma. They don't do nearly as much damage to those. You can see how quickly they slice up those infantry units. So Super is going to have to back away. Just dropped a spider egg just to kind of distract the units, or potentially if they don't pick them off, gets 3 free kills, does manage to get the 2. And Soup will be slowly running away. Also going up to the next stage, going through Area and building more automatons out. So is going for this mass automaton situation. And these guys do get buffed up when they're in the heroic age as well. You can also steal one of those Nemean Lions with god power, so could be a pretty big turning point, pretty big swing in Soup's favor potentially. Hippaspis getting caught out, probably just scouting around. Sometimes it's fine just to lose a unit for a bit of scouting info, but you don't want to lose one if you don't have to. He could have got away, but was low HP anyway. And yes, so the Poseidon does want to go for some kind of favor play, getting that golden apples in, so potentially centaurs, which he is building, or just multiple uses of certain god powers, whether that's ceasefire, whether that's more pigs. Probably not worth using a second curse, to be honest. It kind of decreases in value as the game goes on. And a forward palace coming in. Just kind of secures the middle. It isn't on any particular resource. Kind of next to these berries, but don't really need berries at this stage. You do have the ones back here if you really want to. But just getting him in a kind of base to fall back on if he wants to defend this gold mine, if he wants to defend this gold mine, or also if he wants to pressure the red town center this side. And the double behemoths out. A Chronos special. Gets 2 of every myth unit when he goes up to the next stage, so the behemoths are very, very strong. Hail to the Star, though, does manage to pull back those militia nicely. Whenever your building goes down, it's definitely worth getting those militia and running those ones away, not to get sniped by those heavy archers. And ceasefire does go down. It significantly reduces the build rate of the fortresses there, but the fortress was pretty much finished anyway, so within the ceasefire should be up. So nice play from him. If those behemoths were to get onto the fortress, it would do mad damage. You definitely got to watch out for that one. Definitely like the Poseidon play here, going for this forward gold mine, and then he's got a back gold mine to kind of fall back on later. And I think Soup wants to hit the go button. There's not that much to deal with the automaton. There is actually 3 hero units out, so maybe will be enough. Nemean Lion coming in also to do a bit of a stun action whenever he wants to. Behemoth is going to go down. Looks like the stun is going to be converted. Absolutely huge stun. It's basically like a mini shockwave. It is insane. Deconstruct coming down on that fortress. So maybe the ceasefire wasn't the play, considering the deconstruct comes in. But the behemoths are managing to go down. So Hail to the Star is gonna defend this one. The militia are just so strong, man. I don't even know whether it's worth, in this kind of defensive matchup that these guys are playing, whether it's worth going Ares just to get the extra divine damage. You get 1 divine damage for all your militia, who are very, very strong. And actually, the tables are completely flipped, and Hail to the Star is now on the aggressive. Soup could jump inside the palace, though. There isn't really that much siege. There's an Nemean Lion that doesn't actually have any crush damage. So the palace is going to get max value here if Soup can just run in, and unfortunately gets trapped by those red units. And now Hail to the Star is in a commanding position all of a sudden from a pretty sick defense. So maybe the ceasefire was it. Thank you for the Prime SDXX. Thank you very much. Appreciate that one. Can you explain what divine damage is? So if you ever played a game and they call it true damage, that's probably what it's called in most games. I don't know if we can find a unit with it, but basically it's a little blue thing somewhere, and it ignores all armor. Is basically it. So if you have 1 divine damage, then you're definitely doing that 1 damage. Whereas normally, so you have 6.8 damage here, but you won't be doing 6.8 because they have 19% pierce armor. So you'll be doing 19% of 16.8 or 6.8. Sorry. So the divine damage is very, very strong. Or true damage is probably the better way of putting it, to be honest. Don't know why they didn't just call it true damage. It's what it is in every other game. Soup loses his fortress, but managed to spam out a decent amount of units. Now, the automaton situation, the automatons look like the majority went down. Did he have any out to build those back up? No. That's one of the best things about them, really, is when you lose them in a defensive position like that one, you can rebuild them back up. But I think the fight just went on for so long that that wasn't an option. So nice play from the Poseidon there. Hippias running through, fortunately, is going to get caught out. We're just looking elsewhere. I think he wants to go over to defend this situation. Nice find from Soup. Does find those villagers and heavy Mamillos. You can't turn or fight those as a villager. They're all going to go down. And now we see the forward walls going up to secure yet another gold mine. I mean, I guess they might as well fight because they're going to go down. But I think it's just better to waste the time. From Soup's side, yeah, just ignore the storehouse. No point giving militia away. Yes, you can catch up to the militia, but just leave it be. Unless you want this gold mine for yourself, it's just not worth it. And third town center for Poseidon grabbed. Probably been a while. We've been focusing on the main fight. So he is ahead in the villager numbers. And going through Hephaestus. So we'll even be even more ahead, getting that plenty bolt down. I think Soup is sniffing something out, that there isn't as many units now, so he wants to go on the aggression. Town center will be going down. Does manage to steal a Nemean line again, so gets that little stun off. We'll try and keep that alive if he can. Militia, again, going to come out of that town center. And the Poseidon here just runs away. You're going 4th age. You've just got to run back. You can't take this fight. Just kind of sack that position, get your Plenty Vault down, start to get your iron upgrades, your champion upgrades, and then take a fight in a minute's time. That Soup does turn around very, very nicely. Could have jumped inside that tower if he really wanted to, but it's just going to be able to back up anyway. We see 15 villagers praying. This could be a pretty nice choke for red, though. If he could get that tower upgrade, does have centaurs, could get absolutely huge value. Could even jump some of those units through to start on those archers rather than just going for the front line. Nemean Lions, the Peltas, microwing, are they? Looks like they're not. You need to double-click those Peltas, shift, and then start to attack this side. Looks like he is now on it. The Colossus tanking pretty well. There isn't that many heroes here, only a Hero Arcus. Hero Arcus really don't do that much damage to the Colossus, so I think Soup probably does need to back up. You see how much damage this guy tanks. So probably overstayed his welcome there. But on the back of that, did get his third town center, we see here. Did get a forward palace up, so probably worth it in that respect. Do we see Mythic Age coming through? Looks like Soup does want to get there. He's got 23 on gold and basically has the food, so I think he does want to get to the Mythic Age. Getting the heavy fanatics enabled in the earlier age. Let's do something else. It reduces their train time, so even if you are going up to the next stage, it's just worth it unless you've got so many palace that it doesn't matter. It's like Fortress going down. When you use Deconstruct on a Fortress, it doesn't give Poseidon Militia, does it? I'm pretty sure we've seen that earlier. Maybe it's just worth doing it on a lot more buildings than you usually would if you're playing Kronos. Soup is going to be able to take down that Fortress, but what is this going to cost him? Loses a couple of automatons there. Yeah, losing quite a few units. Does have 10 destroyers queued up as well. If we move to Soup's side, he does have 3 palaces. Actually, the third one probably just built. So heavy destroyers now coming out. Wants to get those just to tank up the archers. Interesting to note here that the Poseidon doesn't go through Artemis. Nice steal of the Heliopolis. That's going to tank for days also and get some decent damage to this town center. But mentioning Artemis is... I think Artemis is slept on. She gives divine damage, the poison damage to your archers. And if you're going mass archers, you can just burn through things. It's actually pretty crazy. Like this Heliopolis would have just gone down because the poison damage will have done too much damage to it. Or the divine version of it. I think maybe the poison doesn't work anymore. But anyway, it does have divine damage in it. And even against this counter, which is the heavy destroyer, if you had divine damage against this guy, it would just be so much stronger. But I guess from the Hephaestus side, you do get all your iron upgrades extremely quickly. You get this Plenty Vault, which means that it's just free eco. I think it's the equivalent of like 3 villagers, I think. Or 12 villagers, I think. I think it used to be 10, now it's 12. And the mass destroyer army coming in. Hephaestus aren't a thing now, so definitely worth getting these guys. And nice little snipe, queuing out so many automatons. How quickly do these guys queue up? It's not going to say, is it? But might even be worth dropping a 3rd temple down, which is pretty wild. But why not? Fortress up here to deal with this gold mine. Does manage to get that one. Looks like the gold is finishing up pretty much everywhere. Soup does move down to this bottom gold mine. Hail to the star here. Doesn't need as much gold as Soup does because he does have this Plenty Vault. Also, 10 villagers still praying. Potentially wants to go for another one. But does have this one at some point. Watchtower from Soup going up. Wooden walls. Aggro wooden walls. Not aggro ones, but very forward ones. And I think on this side, looks like a bit of a spam fest, but Fortified Town Center backup for the Poseidon. And Ceasefire even. I mean, maybe Ceasefire into Fortress is just the play. If you get enough villagers on it, it's basically going to be finished by the time the Ceasefire's up. Because that 40 seconds, minus 15. And then when you're pretty much there, it then just speeds up to normal rate. So it's probably going to be 10 seconds after the ceasefire's down that will be left on this fortress. Yeah, 13 seconds. But Soup recognizes that one too and just instantly gets rid of that one. I think the centaurs are causing a little bit of a problem. Needs to get some hero archers just to snipe those ones down. Helios coming through. One we don't see very often, to be honest, but we'll see what Soup can make work. He has gone kind of the unconventional route here, going through Leto instead of Prometheus.
What are you doing here?
Speak of the devil, thank you very much, Soup, for the raid. Hope the rest of your stream went well. We're checking out one of your games. And it's been pretty good so far. Looks like there is a little bit of a mass centaur issue that, yeah, Soup definitely does have to deal with. We do see 4 hero archers. Could potentially go for more of those. I mean, if the automaton managed to get onto that back line, they do 3 times damage to those myth units, so could be an option. Probably waiting for Helios is going to be the play. Get your extra upgrades in. I think from Red's side, Hail to the Stars still doesn't have any of those Hypaspis. He has 1. Needs to start getting more of those out to deal with those heavy destroyers. The heavy destroyers are just crazy units if you don't have that counter. They also have the Raya upgrade, which makes them a little bit better against those hack damage units also. So if you're not a strong counter, if it's a Hippias, if it's something else that's hack damage, it's going to be a real struggle. But I mean, there's just so many centaurs here. Is there a centaur upgrade? Looks like it is coming through at some point. Yes. Centaur Polemark will be coming through, and that gives them extra range. Oof. So much damage coming through from these centaurs. Absolutely rough. Automatons need to manage to get onto them if he can. Theseus, all these heroes are in the way, though. Unfortunately, automatons can't garrison inside guard towers, so that is a bit rough for him. I think there was a mass hero army coming through the back. It looks like Cantarius. He can run around the back to those centaurs, but I bet Hail to the Stars Micro is going to be on it. Does manage to run away with the majority of those, but how many warrior automatons are dead? I've just double clicked on it. Is that it? Is it 6? Oof. That feels bad. No, I don't think it works like that. It's just highlighted these ones. We can count them though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it is 6. What a coincidence. Forward Fortress trying to come up, but these Centamanus have 80 crush per hit. They are ridiculous siege weapons. And I potentially could see some Vortex action coming in for Soup. Now we see the Centaur upgrade finally in. Polyphemus trying to come through, deal with the units. And it's just constant arrows raining down. Polyphemus does manage to get on this backline here. And I think one Centamanus will go down. And the other one is going to run away. And the heroes for Soup are in. Sniping down those centaurs. Only 5 left. There was definitely more than that earlier. What's the gold kind of situation? So there's 2,000 left in this gold mine for Soup. Has started up a llama caravan trade. On Hail to the Stars side, he hasn't started a trade yet. Does he have a market? Doesn't have a market to speak of. So he either needs to get that one started up, drop another Plenty Vault, potentially, or secure another gold mine, because when this one's finished, it's going to feel pretty rough. Does need to get on top of that one. Halo of the Sun, which is the Fire Siphon upgrade, and Fire Siphons coming through. So yeah, I think there's going to be some Vortex sieging around. And Vortex is pretty strong, to be honest. Another slept on upgrade. Or God Power, excuse me. I like the Centaur just having a little scout around. Fortunately, he's going to get caught out by a bit of pathing. Probably wanting to go through this gap, but no. And here is the Fire Siphon. Guard Tower's coming up to secure this gold mine. This gold mine's actually finished up. So yeah, Hail to the Star does need to get something working here. trees OP. Unfortunately, trees are OP, so the Cantarius is going to get caught out by that tree and is going to go down. Does take one villager down, but probably not the value that Cantarius was really looking for. Heavy Cantarius in as well. Heliopolis number 3 taken. So really, really valuing these traitors just to take the siege weapons away. I mean, I kind of joke about this every time traitors in, but this is the best siege weapon that the Chronos player really has access to. Does he get the upgrade for it? Does have also gets the Helios upgrade with it, which is pretty sick. So that can be vortexed. Can you still garrison in it like you could from the old game? So you can garrison villages in this, and then you can vortex and build on the front line, which is insane. While this is going on, the settlement even goes down. We've been looking at that little steal, but the settlement does manage to go down from this big fire siphon play, and it looks like, I mean, Red has mostly got backline units. He's got loads of Toxotes, loads of Peltas, decent amount of Centaurs, but I mean, the army from Soup can really easily deal with that. Has the automatons to tank, has the destroyers, has the fire siphons to tank. Nice sniper of the fortress with that deconstruct there. Heliopolis though, I mean, look how tanky it is. Surviving for days up against the fire siphon fire. Does go down just before the palace does. And we need to zoom out a bit. Double fortress going up. Oh no, just replacing that one, but probably will get a second fortress up, because why not? It's always the play against deconstruct. If there's a deconstruct there, then just build a second one, because you do get the resources back for it anyway, so it can often be a good option. But yeah, it's just pure backline. I mean, I guess pure backline eventually takes out fire siphons if there's nothing else around. Fire siphons, I mean, they deal decent damage to these centaurs. It's impressive. Impressive stuff. Now, Soup just needs to capitalize on his population advantage here, because this settlement is down. Even just maybe even time shifting some towers forward, just time shifting anything else, just any palaces forward, just to defend this kind of position. But it is a little bit tough. It's like full Arcus in the queue, and Hail to the Star has managed to push back enough to grab a town centre back for himself, going back to that even game. But I don't see any red running about. I don't think he started his trade, which is why he's managed to be able to push back a player that's got one more town centre than him. But while this is going on, the fire siphons do sneak this settlement, and they literally just have, because all the militia have managed to pop out. So nice play. Also has the Arcus here ready for the militia to come out. But, I mean, they're so tanky when they have their champion. Oh, they don't even have champion yet, but I saw that one coming through. So have some very good upgrades. Heliopolis though, going to be slowly pushing through these guard towers. Would even be worth to maybe earlier to bring these guys over to the gold. Kind of easier said than done. Or easy to say now, let's say. Tower Creek coming through this side. Partially to aggress the town centre, partially to defend the market. Very nice. And those militia. We said right at the start that these gods are very good early game gods, but also their late games are both so strong. Well, at least the Poseidon side with the militia. I think the Chronos has a lot of ideas too. You just need to kind of execute them to make them work. The citizens do manage to get palace up, but they're getting sniped very quickly by those archers. Can take out the Heliopolis, potentially. And now Soup is falling victim to exactly what he's been going for himself. Sieging down. And now the first Vortex is going to be used to defend himself. Another Titan Gate. Titan Gate comes in as soon as the Vortex is used, but Vortex is a very short cooldown. So definitely makes sense to wait for that Vortex to be used. And then the ceasefire. As soon as that ceasefire is over, though, the Vortex can can come over here. Soup just needs a way to get over there. Even if he doesn't manage to take down the Titan Gate, which I mean he probably should be able to, all the villagers will go down. It will force the army back. Then you can vortex somewhere else. Just needs to get something over there to actually make that happen. Or he can kind of fake that, go for another town center play like he's done. He is managing to secure this 4th town center. So we'll have an advantage, even though that this this Titan Gate is up. Looks like Soup is going for Secrets of the Titans himself. So it does want to match that one. And the ceasefire's over. Gold mine here. Going to get pushed back. We move over to the perspective here. Still no trade. I mean, he is in the kind of position where you just got to make something happen when you're one town center behind. Maybe if you go for the trade, it's just over. But a Kronos pushing through. Going to put some severe pressure on this one and just say, okay, you get the Titan. I'll just get my own rather than try and vortex over. Towers coming up on these fortified town centers, but the Heliopolis solo deals with it pretty nicely. Interesting to mention also that a lot of these towers, they do shut down the option to go for more horses. If you go for mass cav, you can just go up against mass towers, and the towers do additional damage to horses for whatever reason. Here he comes. Titan's in. Titan animation cancelled to get him out slightly quicker. Off he goes. And we'll be able to clear up this gold mine situation, which will give 4,048 gold over to our Poseidon player here. So definitely keep him in it. And the Titan is, I mean, the best siege weapon in this game, so should be able to deal with these buildings pretty nicely. So probably just going to hang out, wait for his own Titan, or potentially just convert loads of these to heroes just to get a little bit of chip damage off on this guy, and then his Titan can easily win the fight. But also slowly pressuring this side. I guess the towers are also here for when these things get sieged down. The towers can deal with the militia is an option also. Fortunately, the villagers getting a bit confused here. I guess they really want to go for that gold mine. And just waiting on the fact that that's what they want to do. There they go. Just waiting for that gold mine. Probably should get the Titan on that guard tower. The towers plus palace combo is going to do so much. Does have that advanced fortifications upgrade, so the fortress does even more damage. And the villagers, they never got their survival equipment upgrade, so they're going to go down so quick. Titan is going to be able to take out this town center, though. Where's the Soup Titan? Where even is his Titan Gate? There it is. I swear it's harder to see on the map than it used to be. It's like that funny circle. Even this, on the old game, there was a huge T. You know exactly where the Titan was. Cerberus here is managing to take down this forward base. Hasn't... I don't know. I think that's a mistake. Not going for the palace. The palace getting huge value. Unfortunately, for some reason, we can't see the extra damage that it's managed to do. I don't know why that sometimes doesn't work, but when you're playing the game, at least, you can see how much damage units do. And that palace has got mad value. Blue Titan as well. Gonna be over here. And we're gonna be on board with him while he walks over to the Poseidon Titan. And town center wise, this was Soup's TC, so it looks like they're back to 3 TCs apiece. Still no trade. The Poseidon Titan also running away. Knows that he would probably lose that fight. Needs to just make sure all his heroes are here. Doesn't have Polyphemus. He's the best one because he just tanks for absolute days. And Soup, yeah, needs to get some more units with his. He's trying to pressure down here. I think he's trying to pressure this side. Trying to get some guard towers up. Trying to use his destroyers to take out some of these buildings, but... Titan is going to be used against that fortified town center. Brings it back to 3-2 TC. And here come the Hero Arcus. Ready to turn and burn against this Titan. Titan here needs to turn around and hit. And he is going to manage to get in there and do some good damage. And I think we're going to get... Oh, looks like the blue unit is a little bit confused. Now they're going to start to hit each other again. We'll get a better angle of these two going up. It looks like the blue Titan is losing this one. There's just so many red units here managing to deal with it. The Fire Siphon is a very good idea up against the Titans. They just do so much damage, but all the units around will be able to deal with that one. And I think the red Titan is going to manage to win this fight. So nice play from Hail to the Star to keep himself in this game. But while this is going on, though, we haven't really mentioned that there's been some heavy raids that the Poseidon is down to 30 villages and doesn't have a trade. So even though his Titan did win that fight, there's been nobody mining this gold mine. So the only gold that he's going off of is that of this one Plenty Vault. So it's a little bit of a rough position. So well played to Soup to kind of shift the attack elsewhere while the kind of Titan fight was happening. And a curse coming in. Curse into Vortex. Vortex onto the back town center. There was a second Plenty Vault. Went down. As we can see, it costs 400 now. So there was a second Plenty Vault. But that's going to go the wayside of the blue Kronos as well. Hero Arcus converted. Can they potentially win this fight? Needs to do a bit of micro to make sure it actually happens. But they deal significant damage to the Titan if there's enough of them. The issue is that the Titan deals a lot of damage back. The Sentimana should be a good option up against these guys. Or Warden of Tartarus. 120 crush per hit. The issue is the Titan deals a lot of damage back. And Soup can go back and grab this town center when he pleases. But the two mini Titans up against the big Titan, and the big Titan's gonna run away. He doesn't want to play at the forward palace with all the upgrades in, and yet that's gonna melt the Hippias. Doesn't actually have boiling oil, which is interesting, but Soup does manage to win that one. Kind of while the Titan fight was on, there was a bit of a distraction action, and then went for the villager snipes and made sure that the gold starve, the 43-minute gold starve was on. I think Hail to the Star played this one really well. He just didn't go for the trade. Like I said earlier, maybe he thought the trade was kind of just losing, but would have kept him in this one. Yeah, all resource. Moose in the blue always comes in clutch, but nice play. Nice play all round.